This film is Killing Zoe. It was released in the UK in 1995 and often marketed with Quentin Tarantino's name prominently on the poster, but it's in fact a film directed by Roger Avery, a former co-worker of Quentin Tarantino's and the sharer of a story credit on the film Pulp Fiction.
Je peux laisser la musique en marche?
I don't speak French.
Oh, English?
American.
Oh, that's good. I speak a little American.
The plot has echoes of other Tarantino films. The setup is quite a lot like True Romance. Zed here, played by Eric Stoltz, meets a prostitute with whom he falls in love rather quickly, and then there's a high story which is reminiscent of Reservoir Dogs.
What's going on? Huh? Is this cat dead? I don't know. I think it's asleep. It's been there for days. Oh, here. I guess it is dead, yeah. Come on.
That being said, despite those similarities, one would be foolish to watch this film expecting the work of Tarantino. There's of course violence and references to other movies in it, but it's not played in that comic book style that Tarantino's known for. Roger Avery directs this much more like a French picture. It spends much more time with the characters and their interactions with each other than it does in sequences or set pieces. Much of the first half of the film covers a get-to-know-you drugs binge that the characters indulge in before the heist.
What I was telling you is in a final conflict between 6 and number 2 to find out who is number 1. Number 6 realizes that he is number 1, you know? It's like we're all a prisoner of ourselves, you know? But the best episode is A, B, and C, where he takes 3 drugs and he realizes 3 different alternative realities. And
during this prolonged, trippy drug sequence, the character of Eric, who is Eric Stoltz's character's childhood friend, confesses the most important part of the film.
This is really good gear, isn't it?
You know, I have AIDS. From the needle.
Did you catch that? I must admit, on my first viewing, what with the sound of the road and the music pounding and the trippy lens effects, I did not. Jean Hughes' Uncle Aid's character has AIDS, and this is the only time in the entire film that it's mentioned. But knowing that information gives this scene a lot more context. Oh, spoilers, by the way. The high sequence, like every good high sequence, is the best part of the film, but it's herein that the plot takes an unlikely twist. Zoe, the prostitute that Eric Stoltz's character slept with the night before, works in the bank.
Grosse pute. Dégueulasse. Avec des loches. Comme ça. Des tétons. Comme ça. I'm
sure it's no surprise to anybody, but the heist goes incredibly wrong. But when Julie Delpy's character is reunited with Eric Stoltz's character, she decides to help him out rather than to turn him over to the authorities. Such is the power of love.
The hospital? Come on, I have a car.
All in all, I can't really place it in terms of tone. It's somewhere between a Dog Day Afternoon style heist film or a fairy tale or some sort of Pretty Woman style romantic comedy. It's a film I've returned to several times over the years, so I think it works as a whole, but it's got an incredibly strange tone to it.
Do you feel pain?
No. It's mostly his blood.
I have a shower. You can clean up there.
Apparently this film came about when Lawrence Bender and Quentin Tarantino were scouting for locations for the film Reservoir Dogs. They came across a bank which they called a perfect location, but something they couldn't use. Not wanting to let a good opportunity go to waste, they contacted Roger Avery and asked him if he had anything set in a bank. He, of course, lied and said yes, and then wrote this script in 2 weeks. With a budget of only $1.5 million, they soon ran out of money. Whereafter Quentin Tarantino slid back into the scene and offered the production finishing funds, thus earning himself an executive producer credit on which the film is mostly marketed. There are sources which say that as a part of this deal that Roger Avery had to remove his name from the screenplay credit of Pulp Fiction, but it's the Screenwriters Guild that decides who gets credited for each script, so I can't imagine that really being true.
Let me the boys. Come on.
I stink. Better take another shower.
No.
I smell.
No, in Paris it's good to smell like you've been fucking. To make them respect you. Just put on a shirt and a sport coat. Come on.
Because of Tarantino's involvement means this film is relatively easy to find. It's widely released on Blu-ray in the UK, but the print is pretty poor. What you're watching here is the French DVD rip, which is why it has no subtitles on it. These images are from the website Blu-ray.com, which is a massively nerdy site which I frequent a lot, but you can see the difference between the scan qualities on the two.
Hey, this is insane. I mean, I'm a U.S. citizen.
Roger Avery showed signs of a promising directorial career, and he went on to make the adaptation of the Bret Easton Ellis book, Rules of Attraction, but because of a DUI incident which resulted in the death of a passenger, Roger Avery served prison time and his career derailed, and he would not make another film until 2019's Lucky Day, which hasn't been released in England, so I've not seen it.
Come on, my friend.
Shouldn't we be doing this somewhere more private?
Fuck them, they can get their own. No, come on.
No, I mean, is it safe? Here.
What, from the police?
So that was Killing Zoe, and it's a fine example of making a film because you had the opportunity to do so, not because there was the great drive to write it. Were it not for the location scouting of Reservoir Dogs, this film never would have come into existence. As a result, you can sort of see it in the script. For better or worse, it hasn't been developed or polished. It lurches from sort of style and tone. The love subplot really isn't given enough time, whereas the drug taking is given far, far too much time. But it is a movie, and it has got made, and making a movie is better than not making a movie. Which is why I'm going to do that. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.